So what's up everybody, this is going to be a video about Liebe's real name. Now that we know that Liebe is not actually Astaroth and Astaroth is somebody entirely different, that leaves us with the question, what is Liebe's name? We're not entirely sure who Liebe is in terms of demonology because it seems like Liebe is just a random small devil. So this video will cover on Liebe's real name because we know that Liebe's real name that he was given is not going to be Liebe. He has another name. And I also will talk about the possibility of Liebe not even having a real name. So let's get into this. First of all, if you like anime, manga reviews, discussions, spoilers, and theories, definitely hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, like comments. I read the comments. So issue with some false copyright strikes. So let's get this channel back to 5,000. Watch out for the Discord and Patreon. So Liebe is actually very interesting as a character because we're not entirely sure who he is. We know that he had a past with 𝙲𝚘𝚙𝚅. He was beat up as a kid, but we don't know how the devils are created in Black Clover. And also Liebe, we don't really know how he was created. Like, we're not entirely sure if Liebe actually has a devil parents or not. Also, it seems like Liebe didn't make a name for himself in the underworld, so it makes us to believe that Liebe doesn't really have a name. However, I think Liebe does have a name. The reason why I say that is because there's a reason why 𝚲𝚙𝚅 hasn't given this information yet. You know, this is one of the many mysteries of Black Clover that I think the final arc will touch upon. And I know I made many videos about this, about Liebe being possibly Baphomet. There's a lot of connections and clues. I did say that when Liebe and Asta get into one form, they do have 5 horns. I know some people are saying that Asta might be part devil. I still don't think Asta's part devil. I know that's gonna offend somebody, but the reality is if Asta was part devil, he would have looked devil-like. I think Asta's father could have been somebody that was devil possessed, but him being part devil, no. So I think those 5 horns that Asta and Liebe have when they do that perfected devil union is pointing to the fact that they have something to do with Baphomet. And the reason why I say that is because Baphomet is actually connected to the 5 points. You always see a goat in demonology, and a lot of people confuse the goat with Satan. Even the churches of Satanism has this goat in front of it. However, that goat is not actually Satan. It's another entity. It is Baphomet, and Baphomet's tied to Lucifer. Satan demonology is very interesting because Lucifer had some ties to Liebe and Asta. We saw that Lucifero basically controlled Liebe, and the 𝚲𝚙𝚅 ended up dying because of Lucifero's manipulation of Liebe's body. We saw that Liebe and Asta defeated Lucifero. It's very interesting on that sense because the fact that the Baphomet is a lot of times confused with Satan and sometimes there's a tie between the two, I think that's a clue as to who Liebe is because of his backstory. Also, the Baphomet is worshipped through the Knights Templars. We see that there's magical knights in Black Clover. There's a similarity. Also, if you see the Black Bulls, the Black Bulls' horns, they kind of represent, you know, obviously devils and devil worshipping, but also it kind of gives like a vibe of the Baphomet in a way because when you see the Black Bull base when they're fighting, it has 5 points. Kind of does remind you of the Baphomet, especially when it starts standing up. So it's very interesting to see that being implied in Black Clover. You also kind of see a similarity with the Magic Knights and the Knights Templars. You know, obviously they're both knights in a way. And the final arc, Liebe and Asta are going to be value within the Magic Knights squad, something similar to what the Knights Templars did to Baphomet. So that being said, if Liebe is Baphomet, that will make a lot of sense as to why a lot of the devils didn't know who Liebe was. Of course, it could be just that Liebe doesn't have a name, which I'll talk about a little bit later. However, Liebe being called Baphomet is interesting because technically Baphomet is not a part of the Tree of Qliphoth order. It's not a part of the Tree of Death. The Baphomet is not there. Liebe is very strong. He has anti-magic, and I did say before that it's a possibility that 𝚲𝚙𝚅 gave Liebe anti-magic, but I think anti-magic is Liebe's real power. However, the fact that Liebe has anti-magic, the ability to possibly destroy higher-ranking devils, even though he is a low-ranking devil, there's something there. And Baphomet isn't really known as a demon throughout Judaism, and we know that Black Clover is heavily influenced by Judeo-mysticism, also Judeo-Christianity, Norse mythology, but the last arc was mainly focused on Judeo-mysticism, the Tree of Life, the Tree of Death. So the Baphomet isn't a part of that. The Baphomet has to do more with Christianity because it arrived from the time when, you know, the Knights Templars were fighting in the Crusades. Some of the Knights Templars misheard the Muslim soldiers say Baphomet, Baphomet and they saw that they got some power, but some people say that they probably were saying Muhammad. There's like a whole bunch of miscommunication between the two parties. There's a lot of texts claiming this and that, what the Knights Templars heard. So it's probably like a misinterpretation. However, the Baphomet is not Judeo-mysticism. And of course, these devils that are based in Judeo-mysticism would not know about Liebe, who could be Baphomet, because he has powers technically that could defeat these devils with the help of Ast, of course. In some texts, Baphomet is a very strong demon. So Liebe being a devil that is unknown, but also very powerful in a way, kind of points to him being Baphomet. I'm probably putting dots that don't really need to be put together, but in my opinion, I really think that Liebe's real name is Baphomet. And even if his name is not that, we know that Liebe is not his real devil name. That's just the name that he got from 𝚲𝚙𝚎𝚑𝚝, who adopted him. So of course, Liebe is going to prefer being called Liebe over his actual devil name. But of course, Liebe can just be a nobody. I mean, it's kind of pointing to that, but something's telling me that Liebe is not just some scrub of a devil. It's just that he was young, and now that he's getting older as a devil, he's starting to mature and understand his anti-magic powers. I don't think Liebe is that low-tier devil that is a nobody from the flashback that we saw of Liebe. I think there's something more to him. It would be really cool if Liebe has something to do with Baphomet, because there's also like another sign as to it, because remember when Asta was saving the Clover Kingdom from the ancient demon that the Dark Triad brought to the Clover Kingdom, the kids from Ḥajj village started rooting for Asta, but in a way that was interesting, because when we see the statue of Baphomet, especially in satanic churches, you see kids looking up to him for wisdom in a sense and inspiration. Asta, when he defeated the demon, basically the kids from Ḥajj village, the priests and everybody, they looked at him and cheered for him. Obviously the whole entire kingdom cheered for Asta, but they started looking up to it, and Asta was in devil union at that point. And so that could be like a little foreshadowing, a little bit of a hint as to Liebe having some type of connection with Baphomet. At the end of the day, Liebe could just end up being a nobody, because we don't really know too much about Liebe's past besides him being a little kid, getting rejected from the devil society, and getting kicked out, somehow surviving, and then meeting 𝚲𝚙𝚎𝚑𝚝. So there's a lot of interesting things about Liebe, but there's just so much more to know about him, and I think the next arc is going to be very interesting. But yes, that's basically all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about Liebe. What do you think Liebe's real name is? Do you think Liebe's real name might actually be Baphomet, or do you think that Baphomet is not actually Liebe's name? Do you think Liebe is just a nobody? He just got the anti-magic from 𝚲𝚙𝚎𝚑𝚝 in some way of her reversing her curse or her ability. Like if you liked the video, comment, subscribe, and I'm out of here.